Going on, everybody? This is your host Rob, back with another episode of From My Experience podcast. As I said earlier this year, I'm trying to be more consistent. I'm trying to get more interviews for you all, and today I have a very special guest. I let her get away from me last year. I got her partner in crime. Shout out to Tommy. I got her on the show, but I could not catch up with this person, and that's my fault. We had scheduling conflicts. And then I was just like, I'll catch up with her later. But I shouldn't have did that. Should have been more aggressive. But she's on here now. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have from the HBCU podcast. Please make sure you go out and follow them and listen to that. The HBCU podcast. We have Miss Natasha Carter.
Woo! QB applause, people. Yes. Rob, I'm excited to be here. Like, really, it's not your fault. My schedule is all over the place, and I finally made it. I think you thought too that I was scared to be on your podcast.
I did.
I was. I just was doing the most work wise, so I'm here.
And you know what? In hindsight, looking back on that episode we did with Tommy and where our mind state was back then, you didn't need to be on our podcast with this kind of stuff we was talking about. I'm telling you, it was very different. But we've grown, we've matured.
Wrong. Growth. That's what it's all about in 2019.
All right, how is your 2019 going?
It's going. January went by fast.
Yeah, there was no January.
Yeah, it's like I'm officially starting 2019 now because I don't even remember January, but it's going well. Just, planning, ready to get this year rolling way better than the last one did.
Okay. So, I need to pick your brain because as a fellow creator, I always like to get other people's perspective on things and what their thought process was and some of the struggles that they went through. So the HBCU podcast, I believe Tommy told me that it was your brainchild.
Yes, the HBCU podcast is my baby. It came about like right around the time where all the stuff was going on with Trump when he first came on the scene, and then just the whole debacle with Betsy DeVos and just how they were just misrepresenting what HBCUs were. And she called them, I think, something choice, the pioneers of school choice or something like that. And then, of course, Trump didn't know much about him either. So I kept thinking to myself, if people haven't heard of HBCUs before, then they are not doing us any justice. So we need to create something out there that's continuously pushing what our graduates are doing, beyond the popular ones that everyone always talk about, the Howards, the Hamptons, the Morehouse. Like, more HBCUs exist, and I wanted to really shine a light on that. And then, of course, as a president of an alumni chapter for an HBCU, it's just always been one of the things I'm super interested and passionate about. So I always really want to raise up the alumni because sometimes people just look for us to give them money. And that's the only time they reach out to us. And I think it's important that we continue to tell, our stories, what we're doing, how we're still being, productive citizens, and then also encouraging like younger people to see accurate depictions of what alumni are right now, because we love to use, W.E.B. Du Bois or someone older or has passed along to be like, these are our distinguished alumni, and none of us can relate. So that's one of the other things, how the HBCU podcast came about. And to date, we've had a bunch of cool people on there, and I'm looking forward to having more people like yourself.
What? Give me. Yeah, I would love to be on there. Have some interesting stories. I have to tone it down a bit.
We give a little area for you to, share life, but then we like for you to, share your professional life as well and how it's been as an alum, to encourage other people. So.
Oh yeah, I'm down. Your platform is definitely needed. Everything you said, I totally agree, because some people don't understand the value and the benefits of an HBCU. It's good to be in a place centered and focused around your people, quote unquote, and just growing and learning together. Because I mean, Claflin, like that's family. Like anybody Claflin anything, if I can send $1 your way when you open your business, when I see you at homecoming, like it's all love. It's like one big family. I don't think I could have got that anywhere else.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, I love it. So okay, in starting this podcast, what were some of your struggles?
So, the struggles for me, it was like a lot of people when they talk about podcasting, they talk about the technical side. That wasn't my issue. At Claflin, I was a mass communications major, so I did broadcast journalism and hosted a radio show, hosted the TV show, and I had a lot of experience with editing and have done some internships in TV and all that kind of stuff. So that wasn't my drawback. It was really me and my expectations.
Yep.
So I was like, I'm going to ask this person. They're going to say yes. This is going to be lit. And so a lot of people that I asked or reached out to be on the show, they did not come through, or they initially said yes and then they backed out. So for me, that was one of the harder things, just kind of locking down people. Of course, I got a lot of people who were interested in being on the show as well, but you had to vet people, because I started to see a lot of people just wanted to be on there to push whatever they had going on.
Yeah.
And that's part of it too, because we definitely want to uplift what you're doing, but we also want you to have a real vested interest in HBCUs when you come on. You know what I mean? So that was the hardest part for me, just kind of getting people I'm not going to name some of the people who I've reached out to because I will be reaching out to them again. A lot of the people were kind of from celebrities, and some reached back out, some said yes, some I was able to interview, and then some I wasn't. But that was the hardest thing for me. And then on top of that, being consistent. Even though I was a freelancer at the time when I started the podcast, I did have a lot more time. And I actually should have, at one point I was stacking episodes like you mentioned in our prior conversation. And then it just started to roll into this snowball to where it was okay, we're down to some of the last ones people have canceled, trying to figure out what your content is going to look like from week to week to stay consistent. So that's been the hardest part for me, just nailing down people who I really want to interview and setting my expectations and staying consistent. Because right now, the podcast has been on a hiatus since September. We had a live show. The live show isn't even up. So,
what?
Yeah. So,
okay.
Struggle. But in 2019, I guess some of the new ones, because those were my 2018 struggles. 2019 is, now that I'm busier, I need to delegate. And that's something I really need to learn how to do. So I say delegate, but it's going to be more outsourcing, because if I want to edit it, someone else is going to have to edit it if I don't have time. I did all of the artwork for all of the episodes, all the social media, all that kind of stuff. And so that's something that I'm really working on right now, at least finding some interns or, people so that we can continue to push the podcast forward, because we do eventually want to have a scholarship.
Oh, wow.
HBCU graduates. So that's what I wanted to do with the advertising. But all of that, it will happen in 2019. We're just rolling.
You I wish y'all could see. I wish y'all could see what I see. I know that you'll do it. I know that you can do it, and I'm just over here okay. I'm going through some of those same struggles. The first hurdle I've gotten over is the consistency. I've been doing my podcast.
Oh, you're consistent.
No, I wasn't before though. I've been doing this since 2015 or 16.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was a different show name, and then we changed, and then 2017 was kind of bumpy, but then 2018 we got on point because I started doing some actual research, because I'm kind of like you, I've learned about myself. I love to research something and get a way of how I want to do it before I execute. But sometimes I get so buried in the research, I find something new and be like, wait, I'm gonna pause everything. Maybe I can do this. And I've just learned about myself. I need to just go. Like, all right, just start it. You can adjust later. So now that I've done that, I'm lost my train of thought. I don't know what I was saying. Consistency. I had to get consistent. That has definitely helped because now that I'm consistent, I've seen my viewers grow. The type of people that are following me on Instagram has changed too. I had someone, I really hope she hits me back. I'll tell you off this interview who
You will. I believe it. Yes.
Yes, please. Yes, because they gave me their email address and said, "Oh, I'll be on your podcast. Send it." I was like, "Oh yeah, here you go." Like I have no job. I'm like, "Here you go." I was at work doing it. Shout out to my boss. But yes, consistency, that was a big key. And then I want to do some of those things like you're talking about. Like I want to get more guests on, and I want to expand. I want to do a live show. That's one of my goals for this year is a live show. That's going to be kind of tough, but I'll figure it out. I'll figure out something I can do. I definitely want to do a live show. How was that? How did you organize that? Give me the secrets.
Yeah, so just like right now, fresh off the press, everybody's getting this. I do not know how the live show sounds. Like I have it right here on this computer on this drive. Haven't listened to it at all. Like if I could tell you guys about the end of my 2018 rolling into 2019, you would not believe it. So it's just been so crazy. I haven't even been able to do like half of the stuff that I've been trying to do. But so I don't know what it sounds like. I hope it sounds great. But it went well. So initially when we were coming up on a 1-year anniversary, we were like, let's do a live show. We got to do a live show. It's just, it has to happen. And one of my friends, GB, who went to South Carolina State, he lives in Charlotte, and he's done a bunch of kind of brunch events based around trivia. And they've been like 90s trivia, movie trivia, all kinds of different stuff like that. And so we went to one. It was a really good vibe. I loved it. I loved the venue, everything. Tommy loved it. She loved the venue. And so we said, hey, would you, mind doing the same thing for us, but, with a HBCU theme? And he was like, that would be dope. And I said, we could also, do a live show. And so that's how that came about. And so I reached out to one of our Claflinites and your frat brothers, Barry.
Yo.
And of course he said yes. And then Travis, who is the founder of HBCU Pride Nation, and he said yes as well. And so they both, are in the Charlotte area, and it went well. Like it was good energy. We had a good turnout, just everybody. It just all came together very well. However, I still don't know what it sounds like. So I'm going to listen to that. Like that's what I'm going to do this weekend. Probably edit it and get it up because that's just terrible. But again, 2018 rolling into 2019, it was rocky.
So I will take that, and I'm gonna let y'all know, listening, if you're out there and you're aspiring to start a podcast or business or venture out on something. One, have a plan, and two, know that it's okay. Like it's not gonna go 100% the way that you plan. You're gonna come into bumps in the road. You're gonna get sick. You're gonna get tired. Things will change. You're gonna miss some cues. It happens, but get back on track. Like get back on track. Like one thing that I've noticed is that the more consistent that I've stayed, like if I miss a week or two of a show, when I come back, my people are still there. Like at a time, I would have like 20, 30 listeners. But if I went away for a while, I would get like 1 or 2. And then I had to spend months to work it back up. But when I stayed consistent, they kind of stayed with me. And then I held myself accountable. I have a Facebook group from My Experience Podcast. Join the Facebook group. And I post in the group. And if I'm not going to post an episode, I'll go on Instagram or I'll go in the group and be like, hey guys, sorry, new episode is coming on this day versus this day. Like I had a really bad headache the other night. So I couldn't record. I was a week behind. Because I didn't feel well, didn't have any shows stacked. So everybody's like, oh, you good, get some rest, blah, blah, blah. When I posted the next episode, I got that love. So yeah, that live event stuff, thank you for those tidbits. I need to work on that. And it's really good that you were able to network and get people to help you out like that.
Yeah, I mean, the HBCU community, of course, as you know, is like a really awesome community. Like everybody wants to chip in. I haven't run into anybody who has like flat out told me no. I've had a little people, kind of like dodging a little bit, but it wasn't a
Yeah.
no shit. And until you tell me no, I don't take it as no. Like I'm still on you. So the HBCU community has been very helpful. And then just like you said, consistency and just all of the things that go into doing a podcast, just jump out there, just do it. Like before we even started the HBCU podcast, I talked to Tommy about it, and who's our co-host. And I think we talked about it a good year before it even popped off. And then one day I was like, I'm buying all this stuff and we're starting to record episodes. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And we just kind of went from there. So, like, if anybody is out there listening and you're really trying to do your own thing, content wise, creativity wise, just do it and just let it evolve, because everybody who started something, it all started off probably, they're probably ashamed of how the early stuff went.
Ooh,
And,
yeah.
So
Yeah, if y'all want an example of that, go to our SoundCloud page or iTunes or whatever and go back and listen to the first episode. Whew! Mike was trash. It was trash. But I was like, if I don't put it out, it's never going to come to the light. And thank you again for another tidbit. I need to delegate. I'm an old man, guys, when it comes to social media. I know how to use it, but I don't. I post on Instagram 3 or 4 times a week, and I'm old, so I'll like do an inspirational video in the morning when I'm headed to work, and y'all might see me late that night or the next day. So I need a social media person to keep us, keep our presence going. It's just not my thing. So
that's one of the things for the HBCU podcast. If you're listening and you're interested, we're going to be looking for as well. I used to do all the social media stuff, but that's what I do for work now. Again, I used to freelance, so the HBCU podcast was my work, and now I do social media stuff and marketing stuff for the company that pays me. And so I sometimes don't even feel like doing what it is for the HBCU podcast, because I've been doing that all day. So I'm definitely going to have to get to a place to delegate, because things won't see the light of day if I don't.
Okay. Now, we're going to shift gears and get a little more personal.
Shifting gears.
So,
Okay.
So ladies, if you're listening, fellas, if you're listening, you need to listen even harder. So, we're both kind of, because we're around the same age. I ain't going to put your age out there, because I don't want you to slap me at
Just
homecoming.
turned 35, thank you. I have no problem with putting my age out there.
Hey! I'll be 35 in December.
December when, Rob?
17th.
Okay, my birthday's December 8th.
Oh, wow. Didn't know that.
I knew. I felt it.
Yeah.
I knew the vibe. Yes.
Wow. Small world. Okay, cool. So, the work-life balance. What has that been like for you? Because let me tell y'all, I don't know all her decorations and accolades, but I follow her Instagram, and you're always somewhere dressed to a T, looking gorgeous, smiling next to someone who looks like you are a celebrity and they are glad to be next to you and not the other way around. So I'm like, she out here achieving, working. So how do you balance all of your work and success and the things that you love to do with your personal life?
Well, I mean, I think that's something that I'm learning to do right now, because before, if you've been stalking and looking and carrying on, I didn't have a personal life really to balance, aside from friends. Like I always found time for friends to hang out with them. So that's probably who you saw me with then. More recently, I have a situationship.
What?
And, so a long distance situationship. So
Same.
that is it's happening. So I don't really know how to balance it all. I'm really figuring that out right now. But before, like I was in a long distance relationship for like 4 years.
Wow.
And I know, and it sort of kind of worked, but not really, because then you get to the end of it and it was like, what was all this for?
Ooh,
But
wait, hold on. I gotta stop you. How long of a distance?
he lived in DC. I lived in Florida.
What was the goal? Who was supposed to move? That talk had to come up.
We both were. So I moved closer. I moved to Georgia. and he didn't move. And then we were going to move to another state,
Mm-hmm.
and it just never transpired. So,
He's
but that's
trash.
years ago.
He's
Years.
trash.
Don't do your frat brother like that now.
Oh, well. Oh, wait a minute. I don't know who that is, by the way, so don't text me, bruh. Don't text me. Don't text me, Fi. Don't know who you're talking about. Don't want to know. Whoa.
Very old news. Very old.
Okay,
but,
very old.
I'm just comparing that because I'm in another long distance relationship.
So I'm going through the same thing. I found love, and we've actually known each other a very long time. She actually lives in Cali, but she's moving to the East Coast, and I'm relocating too. But the beautiful thing about it is, our move isn't for each other; it's for what we're chasing in life. So
that's good.
Yeah, so it feels a lot better. It's a lot more natural and it's smooth. It's like, okay, well, things are coming together. So, but I ain't gonna put all that out there because my baby, like, she don't like me putting all that business out there.
She's low key, cool.
She's extremely low key. I had to get permission. Some of y'all, if you know me, you've seen her, but I had to get permission. I'm like, because I don't normally do a lot of that either. But I'm like, babe, like I see you like once or twice a year, but this year we got goals. I'm gonna see her a lot. Anywho, back to you. Sorry. So you have a situationship.
Yeah.
Is this distance shorter?
Yeah, it's shorter. He lives in Atlanta, so.
Okay. Currently. Okay. What is the most important thing you looked for in him? Because obviously, you know your life, you know your lifestyle. So there has to be
communication. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it in a nutshell. Like, I don't need to know what you're doing every hour on the hour type of thing, but I do expect to speak to you every day.
Well, I ain't talking to you every day. Every day? I'm kidding. I talk to my boo every day, hours on end.
I was going to say, you don't have to be for long. Ain't nobody trying to have 2-hour conversations, but
Oh. That's our average. I got you. Okay, so communication. And you're right. I think communication is a huge key. It's like, hey, and I think respect too, like respect for what you're doing and your grind. I think that's important too, because if people don't respect it, I think arguments and things like that can stem from it. And it's like, well, you're not trying to understand where I'm coming from. So, it's like they kind of try to make you choose between what you want in life versus them.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing about this particular situation is that we've known each other for some time too. Mm-hmm. So we're familiar with one another. And of course, if you've maybe 7 to 10 years. So,
wow. Okay. That's good.
Yeah, this person knows what I am up to, what I'm doing. I know, how ambitious he is, all that kind of stuff. So we get that. There's a mutual respect on that part. We're just trying to figure out the whole communication thing because, yeah.
Okay, that's definitely important. If you're listening, gentlemen, get that communication together because there's a rarity when it comes to good, strong women, period. I'm not going to make this a cultural thing right now, but a truly good woman, just like there's a shortage of truly good men. And this is definitely a good woman. Like, I don't know everything about you, but I've never heard, and you know how small Claflin is. Never heard, and in my life, I've never heard anything negative about you. I've never heard anyone have to say anything bad about you, not even a rumor, not an inkling of anything. And I was there for some extra time too. So, so I just say that goes a long way. That goes a long way. That means you stayed in your lane. You did what you needed to do. You stayed out of trouble. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of stuff. And it shows in your life and in your work. So.
Thank you, Rob. I, try to move stealth-like.
Y'all don't know about it. Okay. So, okay. I'm not going to keep you much longer. I just have a couple more questions.
Take your time. I'm here.
Oh, my gosh. What advice do you have for the younger version of you? That young, ambitious, lady that is listening, or that young lady who may be stuck in the mud a bit, that young lady who's confused or worried about love or relationships, what advice do you have for them?
And well, career wise, if I had any advice for my younger self, would be to really pace yourself, because I started out like in major roles very young,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes that can confuse you, like where you're going. Like it almost sets you to a place to where you think anything that's less than that is not
Good enough.
uh, yeah. And so that's really what I would tell myself, because this is like a really awesome job that I have now that I really like, and it falls in line with what exactly I do. Probably something I've been hoping to have, but from the jump start. But I've started in like higher education. I've been like a director of communications for a college before, and it's like, what kind of, like, at 20 something. So if I
Yeah.
had to give myself like any advice, I would just say pace myself. Not saying that I would not have still taken that role, but just to look at things just from a different lens. And like, just because you get a different role or title doesn't mean that that's still not a valid career and a valid step in your career. So that would be my career advice. Love advice, I would say, I'm quick to cut people off.
Hey.
Quick. And I would just kind of like stretch my patience a little bit and be a little bit more patient with some people, because in the past I've been like, don't like it, out of here. And like very quickly, like I block people, like we don't have conversation anymore, because like when I'm done, I'm done.
Oh my
And
God.
so that's one of the traits that I would probably change, advice I would give myself, like, hey girl, a little more patience, okay?
Wow. Okay. You know what? I think a lot of us went through that. I was like that too. Like, but I've come to learn and accept some things about myself as a person. I'm a very loving, very caring, very forgiving person. But I do know how to get rid of people who really aren't good for me. Like, I understand forgiveness and stuff like that, because I used to cut people off too. But at the same time, I've had to look back and say, okay, well, bro, you're not perfect either. So
Right.
yeah. So and I
Yeah,
have.
I definitely didn't think that per
Mm-hmm.
se, but I sometimes always kind of felt like I was always on the side of right, and I wasn't always, and just would like cut people off. And so yeah, I'm learning growth, Rob.
Yeah, I'm with you. Listen, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm definitely in a better place, and I'm glad you are in a better place. Um, that's it. That's all I got. I got nothing else for you. I mean, you've answered all my questions. I've picked your
What,
brain.
Rob? Are you serious?
Yes. What, you got questions for me? Don't ask me no questions.
I'm gonna save all my questions for when you're on the HBCU podcast. That's what I'm gonna do. But, it'll be a little bit of chit chatting about this and chit chatting about that.
Oh yeah, things will
But
be cool.
yeah, no real questions. I was like all nervous at first, because I was like, hey, Rob and the crew, but it was Rob solo. I'm gonna have to come back when the whole gang's there, or whoever.
Shout out to Tori, Alex, Biff. It's a Saturday. Tori's super busy. Alex super busy. Biff had a wild night last night, I think. I need to actually call and check on her. So, and this is something I just kind of put together at the last minute. But yeah, we'll definitely. I need to have you and Tommy at the same time.
You do. We
That,
would be a fun time together. We have such a long standing relationship, so it's always fun to get the two of us together, because you just never know which lane Tommy is gonna go down on memory lane, like how far back. Sometimes I'm
uh-huh.
hey,
No.
chill.
Okay, yeah, we definitely need to have y'all back.
Yeah. Because we've known each other for a very long time, since like we've been best friends since third grade. So
Oh wow, really?
hmm
Do I have one friend from elementary school?
I mean, at this point we're family, so
True.
like, yeah. She's like, sometimes they are at Christmas, and one time her dad was like, somebody missing. Um, With Tasha.
Oh yeah.
Tommy was like with her real family. So yeah.
We love
But
you,
we're
Tommy.
always around. Always around. So yeah, you'll have to have us both back on the pod.
Absolutely. Tell everybody where they can find you. Plug all your stuff. Plug all your promotions. Any and everything. Do all that good stuff.
I'm keeping it simple these days in 2018. For
19.
19, sorry. See, I haven't shifted quite yet. I was writing it down right places though. How that's usually the hardest part
Yeah.
is writing it down. Nope, I've been good at that. It's just now saying it. 2019, keeping it simple. So, still encouraging all of my Claflinites to continue to give back to our dear old alma mater. That's always first and foremost. Rob, if you have not registered for the convention that is coming up in April in Charleston,
What?
do so. Yes. It's our 45th annual alumni convention, and then we're also the school is celebrating 150 years. So, Claflin Knights, if you're listening, get on board. Come join us in Charleston. Also, HBCU podcast, we will be back in 2019. So that is something I'm working strongly on, trying to get a team together so that we can get some content out to you guys. But in the meantime, enjoy all of our past past episodes at thehbcupodcast.com, or just look for us on all social media, the HBCU Podcast, and you'll be able to, listen. We're on all podcasting platforms, so feel free to catch up.
Why, thank you so very much for joining us. Thank you all for also listening. Y'all already know where to find us from My Experience Podcast on Facebook, FME_podcast on Instagram. If you have a question, topic, concern, anything you want us to discuss on the show, from My Experience Podcast at gmail.com. I will have links to all of Natasha's stuff underneath the post of this episode, so y'all can go stalk her. Don't stalk her. Follow her, learn, and embrace the greatness. And we will catch y'all next time. Peace.